your goal is to get to the finish line, to have a huge organization and to completely rock it out, then we're going to talk about 3 qualities of rockstar network marketing leaders. So this is definitely a training video for you, and it's probably also for some people that you know. So if you have people in your organization and you know they are in it to win it, they're ready to go for it 100%, these are 3 essential must-knows if you're going to have a huge team. So the first rule of thumb, which is so very important, is that you have got to speak to people's potential. You know, we live in a day and age where we're surrounded by negative stuff, right? We have negative media, we have negative neighbors, family, coworkers, you name it, right? Like there's negativity that bombards us. And it's very unfortunate, but a lot of people grew up in not the most positive environment. Maybe they grew up where people were saying, hey, you're never going to amount to nothing. Hey, nobody else in our family went to college, neither will you. Hey, you know, this is your lot in life. Why you got to dream big? You're always going to set yourself up to disappoint yourself. I mean, like people, it's so sad, but people had things like this spoken over them when they were growing up. So being a magnificent leader, being a leader that is, you know, someone that's a little different from the herd, is the type of person that speaks to their potential, that tells them that their past does not equal their future. So it doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter what they've gone through. It doesn't matter how awful things maybe have been in the past, or maybe that they've tried and they failed. It just doesn't matter. The potential of what to come is so much greater, right? Like your best days are out in front of you. And if you can share with people that their best days truly are out in front of them, that you have a vehicle, this is not a Toyota, this is not a Honda, you are going to get down and drive up in a Ferrari that's going to take them to their dreams and goals. And what is that? That is your opportunity. That is the vehicle that they can use to make their dreams become a reality. And let's talk about the alternative. Let's talk about what happens if they don't do that. Pretty much next to nothing. Like they can continue on the rat race. They can continue getting put down and having, life not really work for them, but kind of come after them, right? This is an environment where no matter what comes your way, even when it is affliction, even when it is, rejection or fear or pain, you can use it to your benefit, especially if you choose to. So speaking to the potential of what they could see happen in their life, of what they could become, of how they can change things for them and their family through the vehicle that you have, an essential part of being a rock star leader, being a leader that can inspire and lead teams of people. So that is number 1. Number 2, and this is an important one. Number 2, you want to lead by example, not by management. Okay, like I mentioned a minute ago, this is a volunteer army. And sometimes people get in network marketing and they get started and they get caught in this trap of management mode. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Maybe you've experienced it. I know I have gone through this phase before, where you might recruit a couple of people and then you think that like you're going to manage those people to your success. And that is not true, my friends. It's just not true. And what's really bad is when companies have titles like, manager, regional manager, team manager, managing consultant, things like that, because they think, oh, I'm supposed to manage. No, you're supposed to lead by example. Leading by example is going to grow the team. And, obviously, I don't know if you've read The 5 Levels of Leadership, again, another Maxwell book, okay? But he talks about, of the different levels of leadership, level number 1 is the lowest level of leadership, and that's leadership basically by management. It's because you have a title, it's because you've done a little something, and so now you kind of have the authority to tell people what to do, whether they respect you or not. You have the positional title. And so we don't want to be that kind of leader. We want to be the kind of leader that we're going to inspire them. We're going to speak to their dreams, but we're going to get out there and get in the streets and we're going to do this thing. If they want to, if we're like, hey, let's go recruit, 2 new people this month or 2 new people this week or whatever your goal is, you're going to be out there doing it yourself. And so you can be like, I got my 2. How you coming on yours? It's about being in the streets. And then plus that keeps you sharp. Like if you haven't recruited someone in 24 months, how can you effectively help your team do that? Because you don't know what it's like anymore, right? And so leading by example, not by management, is so very important. So that is number 2. All right, moving on to number 3. Number 3, this is a big one, and it applies not just in network marketing, but in your family, with your relationships, pretty much with anything that you do in your life. And that is, be a person of your word. Now, that may seem really simplistic. Actually, much of what we're talking about may be simplistic, but common knowledge is not necessarily common practice. Like, to know and not to do is not to truly know, right? Like, if we are not applying this in our life, then we're missing the part that produces the result, right? And so, being a person of your word. I hate to say it, but sometimes people get going and they get momentum and they end up getting in their own way because they make promises and they don't fulfill them. Now, this is true not just of leaders, right? But it's true of parents. It's true of people in relationships, any kind of relationship. Just when you say you're going to do something, just do it. Like, just, don't say it if we're not going to do it. It's so very important because sometimes people will trip themselves up because they say that they're going to help someone get started. They say that they're going to be there to do an event or a party. They say they're going to be there for a one-on-one. Whatever you commit to, back it up with your actions. And as simple as that may be, it is violated so often. And if you're out in the marketplace and you're building right now, you see this. Because I remember when I first got started in network marketing, I was like, man, we got some flaky people. So, we just came up for a name with it at our house. We're like, oh, it's a cornflake. Okay, it's another cornflake. We just know what that means, that they're not a person of their word, and that's okay. Because you will have people that are going to be prospects that you have to work through this with, and that's okay. But as long as you are a person of your word, you are good to go. So those are the 3 things that you want to use, you want to apply in your life. Okay, so number 1 is speak to the potential and cast the vision. Number 2 is lead by example, not by management. And number 3 is to be a person of your word. If you take these things and you apply them and you get after it, there is no telling what can happen in your organization. Everything starts with leading yourself first and foremost, right? Like, if we can lead ourselves, we're doing the first part. And then from there, you're going to get a team of people. You're going to get them going. They're going to look up to you. They're going to respect you. They're going to follow your lead. You're going to continue to do the example of what you know you got to do to be successful. And you know what? They're going to follow in step. I don't know if you've heard this, but I think they say that your team will replicate like 90% of what you don't want and like 10% of what you do. So like just knowing that, like, and the same is true for like referrals. You ever had a bad experience, right? You go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, that was terrible. Or maybe it was an airline you flew on or a hotel you stayed at, whatever movie you saw. You're like, oh my gosh. And what do? Most people tell more people when it's a bad experience than when it's a positive one. So, the same is kind of, it replicates, like, bad news travels fast. So we want to be the very best example that we can possibly be for the organization, because that's what they're going to see. That's what they're going to model, right? It's a monkey see, monkey do business. The more we can, set the stage, set the example for what's expected, the more we're going to see that modeled in our organization. So guys, those are the 3 fundamentals. Now, if you're at a spot in your life where maybe you have, dealt with some things in the past and you're ready to move forward, you're ready to get to the finish line, you're ready to start building that team. Like you've been building the business, and sometimes more diligently than others, but you've been building this business and you're ready to really like do this thing, like finally get to the finish line, finally rank advance, finally get some accolades, finally get the praise from the leaders of your company, get paraded across stage and do the thing that in your heart is possible, because you're already seeing it take place all around you. If that is you and you are ready to, cut the nonsense and get on with this thing, then I have something that will help. It is actually a 10-step process that was developed for people that they're ready for their breakthrough. Like enough is enough, and it's your time is now, and you are ready to do this. And so if that's you, you can click on the link that's listed here in the description. It's an extra bonus training, free gift to you. Go through the 10 steps, take them seriously, and see the results manifest into your life. So guys, that is it for today. If this was beneficial, pass it along, share it along with the members in your team. You can tag people or, just share the replay after we're finished, and let's get the word out. Let's help some people rank advance this month and change some lives. So take care, be blessed, I'll see y'all next time.
For more great training and to receive your free bonus training, the 10-step process for getting out of your own way and finally rank advancing, visit summergeronimo.com.